Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm bringing you another episode of What's Broke Today. And today I've got a Honda Recon that went for a drink. He is out riding somewhere, I think, around a creek, and he run it down in and actually got it underwater before he got it shut off. So the oil in it kind of looks like a chocolate milkshake. That originally when he brought it here, he thought this was I guess a water-cooled motor, but it is air-cooled. I believe he was seeing the oil cooler up there in the front. So I'm going to take a few things loose because I want to get in there and I'm going to drain the engine oil again because he's drained it once. And then I'm going to actually pull the oil cooler loose off the front of the motor and flush it with that, what they call a cooler clean, which is normally for automatic transmissions. So I'm going to see if I can flush all of the milky oil out of that cooler, and then we'll get some fresh oil and put in the engine and maybe just pull the plug and crank it and see if we can purge some more of the milky stuff out through the port going to the oil cooler, and then see if we can get this running where it's not got a milky crankcase. Now when you get all the plastic moved where you can get in here and see, which is just a whole bunch of little pin poppers, like it'd be an inner fender of a car. And I took out three 10mm headed bolts to get this down. But then it's just two 10mm bolts, and I've got a drain pan underneath the lines here, and probably could have had a short socket for this. Take out these two bolts. And I just got me a box to put everything in. And I remember the cooler lines are the longer bolts because the other ones that go on the plastic are quite a bit shorter. But we get up here and pull that off, and you can see, I mean, it's kind of oily, but it's also milky looking. I'll pull the other one off. Like I said, I need to figure out which one is the feed and which one is the return. But for now, I'm just going to let those set and drain, and I'll come back when I'm ready to use my cooler cleaner. The cooler got done dripping, and I decided to go ahead and pull the cooler out because it only had two bolts, easy to access through the wheel opening, and mainly because it's mounted in there like that, and I want to turn it up like this to flush it. And I also figured out that the hose on this side, this is the one from the engine, and this is the return to the engine. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm actually going to back flush it. And our cooler clean just comes in a aerosol can, and it comes with goofy little adapters for depending on what you're doing. And I think to start out, I'm just going to use it just like that. And of course our directions, attach proppant fitting, the feed line, attach hose return line, blah blah, flush until clear. For best results, use entire contents per installation. So I'm going to just take this and stick it in there, and I'm going to bring this up a little closer and let me zoom that out so I know you can see everything. Because I know in the past I've tried to show you something and I didn't get it in the video, but basically I'll just take that, hold it up in there, and gently push. Which probably from there you can't see, but this around a different direction. And just watch that line down there at the bottom. You can see our milkshake coming out. I think I'm going to unscrew that because that don't seal very good, and just stick that over the end. Maybe I'll get a little more flow. I'm going to flip that over for just a little bit. Let it squirt going both ways some. And this stuff is real similar to our AC flush, only, oh yeah, that's looking a lot better. And you can see how that's coming out pretty doggone clear now. I'll end up taking that and actually using the air compressor and blowing it out a little better. But yeah, I think that will be good. This fitting right here is where the oil comes out. I'm going to move the pan over and actually drain the crankcase and get it ready for fresh oil. I've got the drain plug out and I'm letting it drain, and I don't think you can kind of see what it looks like, but there wasn't much left in it. That's kind of a scary thought. He said he filled it with oil. I guess I should have checked it before I run it, but it's still dripping. And of course I took a floor jack and put it on the front end and raised it up as high as I could so everything would drain toward the back. And I'm actually going to probably let this set overnight because I haven't went and got oil yet. But I'm going to go blow out the cooler with the air compressor and then maybe get it at least bolted back on. Yeah, we can never forget that while I'm out here working, Ash has to come out and supervise, right? Talk to me, Ash. Meow. Yep, she wants to make sure I'm getting everything done and done right. Well, after letting this set all night, I dumped a little bit of just clean oil through, trying to flush more out. And of course, with the front end raised up in the air, everything's down the hill, so it should run toward the back. And I don't even know if I mentioned, but like our oil cooler, you notice how the pipes go on the top and then the oil cooler's below? I took it off, flipped it upside down so I could flush it out, because otherwise we got like a reservoir there where things could sit. And half tempted to take my cooler clean and spray inside the engine to wash, because still getting globs of stuff coming out of the oil drain hole. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that, because I don't know if you can see down there in the bottom, the gray looking stuff is our bad stuff. Well, let the I run that transmission cooler stuff through, and then let it set a while, and then I actually poured the rest of that quart of oil through it that I had earlier to kind of wash stuff out. And I was getting ready to put oil back in it, and probably one of the big things to remember when you're putting oil in one of these, switch up. I actually went and bought cheap oil at Walmart, which I say cheap, it's Castrol Activo, but it's for motorcycles, because I'm sure he'll need to change it again, and he's going to actually pick up oil from Honda to put in it. But we always want to use a motorcycle or ATV type oil in these because of the clutches. Because if we put regular car oil in this, it'll make those clutches, I don't know, tacky and sticky. So when you go to shift, it'll be hard to shift. And we've already got a little bit of that because he put diesel oil in this for a diesel truck. And also don't pour too fast because then it'll overflow. But yeah, so he put that diesel oil in here, and it wasn't, the shifting was really pitiful. And I'm also not sure that even though it's touching the dipstick, it sure didn't seem like I got as much out as I should have. And I don't know if you could hear that in the background, but up the road from me about 2.5 or 3 miles is a place that builds race cars. And it sounds like they're out testing another Mustang. I was really hoping they'd they stop at a house about, I don't know, maybe 150 yards from my driveway and turn around and really do some pretty spectacular burnouts. And I think they stopped because they used to come by my house, turn around up the road, then come back, and right as they hit the straightaway, they'd hammer it. And whatever they're doing, they got to be doing with 5-liter Coyotes, and probably, I'm thinking, Pro Chargers because of the sound. But they come rolling by around that curve at about, I'd say 35, 40 miles an hour and step into it. And I mean, they just literally light the tires up. Go down if I leave to head toward the highway sometimes, he'll go down the street, and I mean, there's some pretty dang long and wide double sets of burnout marks from them taking off after they back out of that guy's driveway. Yeah, because I'd really be kind of curious to see what, because some of the cars that I've seen go by here, they are fast and they got some really nice paint jobs. I mean, it's something that I'm guessing, talk about a paint job. You got the show car look, you got the 5-footer, the 10-footer, and the 20-footer. And a lot of these that when I see them, I know I'm looking from about 30 or 40 feet away, but it wouldn't surprise me if they aren't damn near show quality paint jobs. And this thing holds about 1.5 quarts. And it'll probably be a little more because of the me having the oil cooler is completely empty. And I'm going to put a little more than 1.5 quarts in it right now, because I'm actually going to crank it over, because I bet you there's still some of that muck in the line between the pump and the entrance, or where it goes to the oil cooler. Because luckily, without the choke being set, I don't think this thing will start without the choke. Well, that's not quite 1 3/4 quarts. So we'll put the lid back on there. And of course the wind is blowing terribly today. I gotta watch, make sure it don't blow my funnel or trash away. I've got my oil pan underneath the motor. And I'll turn the key on, and then I get the camera lined up. We're gonna be looking up right here is where that stuff's going to come out at. I'm going to run it. And it might actually run back down. So that don't look too bad. I can put that back up there, and I still gotta go get the wrench to tighten these bolts up. So I'll put that in there, and it's O-ring sealed, so even though I don't get tight now, as long as I don't leave it that way, it's not gonna blow oil out anywhere. And then we're going to watch the hose way down there, if you can see it, and just and I'm doing this because I don't want it to fire up and not get oil for an extended period of time. It did start. There we go. Yeah, because anytime you dunk one of these in water like this one was, I need to do this procedure. Clean everything out good, because almost fell. Come here to the front, you can still see mud and junk from when he dunked it in the creek. So I'm gonna go get a wrench, tighten up those hoses, put all the plastic back on, and fire up and run her a little bit, and then we'll recheck the oil. Okay, well, it still doesn't run as good as it probably should, but he may not have got all the water out of the gas either. But take my light. That oil down in there maybe still has a little bit of indication of the stuff, but at least on the dipstick, that looks good. Yeah, so I'll wrap up getting the oil or water out of the oil on our Honda Recon. That I guess things to remember is, what saved him was when he got in the water and he knew he was going to sink, he shut off the motor. Because if you happen to submerge this and don't shut the motor off and it sucks it through the carburetor into the cylinder, it'll hydrolock the motor, which a lot of times bends the rod, breaks the piston. I mean, depending on how fast the motor's going, determines how much damage it does. Because, you know, water will not compress, so if it gets in there and that piston's coming up, once it compresses what air's in there and all's left is water, I mean, it's going to tear something up. So, but yeah, I mean, if you ever do dunk one, go through the extra work to get the oil out that's got the water in it, take things apart to get it out of like that oil cooler. You know, like I did, I put the front end up on a floor jack, let it set for quite a while so everything could, you know, drain out as good as possible, you know, because we want the drain to be the lowest spot. So if it's like my Suzuki, it's down in the center on the bottom. All you can do is just put your drain pan underneath and let it sit. That my best advice actually is don't go in deep enough water where you could totally submerge it and drown it out with water. But yeah, I think I'll probably tell them to change the oil one more time and to not put diesel engine oil in it, because it doesn't really shift that good once it's got diesel engine oil in it. I put a spark plug in it too, because the spark plug was really fouled, but I think it was over full when he got too much. We had the water in it, it overfilled the oil, and it fouled the plug out some, so it got a new plug in it. But other than that, hey, I appreciate you watching. Always like those thumbs up for the likes. Comments are always welcome. And hey, and if you're not a subscriber, hey, click that subscribe button and join in, because no telling what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.